right. Baruch Shabbat to the Mishpokah. Let me just kind of get my microphone in position. All right. How's everyone doing today on this blessed Shabbat? Baruch Shabbat. Let's get a mic check. Testing 1, 2, 3. Baruch Shabbat. Mic check. Sounds okay on my end. Just want to make sure we're coming through clear on this blessed Shabbat. Brothers and sisters, prayerfully you all had a blessed week. See if I can adjust this a little bit. I don't want to be dangling. My chain be dangling on the mic. So, Baruch Shabbat to all of the family of Yah, all the sons and daughters of the covenant on this blessed Shabbat day. We had some humid weather this week, but we managed to be able to make it through the heat and the humidity. If you've never been on the eastern seaboard, you never experienced any humidity like this here. So it could be 80 degrees in high humidity, and it's just like yesterday I was out and about and cleaning up my vehicle, getting ready for the road, and my shirt was just soaking. You could just wring the sweat out of it. That's how humid it was yesterday. So I praise Yah for being in the land of the living, for being in my health and strength. And I want to also praise, I'm not going to do like the other group do, shout out. We don't have a shout out day. We shout out every day to all of the people that show love and generosity, those that shared of your substance with us. Every little bit helps, and so we appreciate that. And I want to also, from the beginning of the stream, I want to thank all you all for your prayers. I know some of you have been praying behind the scenes. Everybody don't have finances to give, but you can offer prayer and Torah to the Most High for your brother's health and strength, and seemingly getting better each day. And kind of was just thinking about it. I think I might have like a pinched nerve or something in that knee, because some days it seems like it's getting better, and then some days I get that little pinch twitch in my knee. So powers that be wouldn't give me what I needed to get my MRI to have it looked at and so forth, but like even right now as we speak, I feel that little twitch right while I'm sitting here. So, but life still goes on, and you have to continue to fight the good fight, right? So I'm grateful that I'm in the land of the living. My sister, she's getting herself together here, so I'm just gonna keep talking. And also for those that my brother, I call him Big Brother. He's Big Brother spiritually, but he's younger than me, a year younger than me. Moray Josiah, Spirit of Yah, Jacksonville, and Coach Tandalia rode with us together. We went to pay tribute to our Ema from Pittsburgh, who we've known down through the years, and she's left this life. We went there to represent. So all those that we connected with some with a couple there, and I think his name was Adonia, and so his Isha, and so we've been paying some visits up in that area in the off seasons, and we have another place to go. So that actually we have a meeting point. We got a coach, Moray, Irvin, and Mora, Sandra, and so we was talking about a meeting point somewhere in the middle. Pittsburgh's kind of actually not too far from Ohio, but and then also Ema has a daughter who has a son. I think has a congregation in Ohio. I think, did she say Columbus? Was it in Columbus? You want to be on the screen or you want to be off the screen today? Okay. She's going to be off the screen today. So for all the family, today I was going to attend a Shabbat convention. Come to find out that it wasn't a Hebrew Israelite Shabbat convention. So I was a little disappointed because I thought it was Hebrew Israelite Shabbat convention. So after doing some investigation, discovered that it was not. It's in Baltimore. I'm not with the Seventh-day Adventists. Some Israelites have gone to Seventh-day Adventist Shabbat sessions. It's just like going to Christian churches on the seventh day, and it's all, it's nothing's different. Seventh-day Adventists. Is that Ellen G. White, Seventh-day Adventist? So we'll talk about that. Greetings to I don't know. Let me see who all came in. Did anybody chime in? Yeah, I haven't seen nobody chime in yet. We got 7 people in the room, and no one has said anything. So I don't know who we're talking to at this particular hour. But we got a good lesson today. We're gonna go ahead and get started. You can see the lesson title is "It's always been about love in the law of Torah." So don't be deceived. And so many Israelites are not operating in love. And I don't mean, we're going to talk about it. We're going to break it down today. So let's open up in prayer. Baruch atah Yahweh Eloheinu Malach HaOlam. Father, we thank and praise you and bless you for this blessed Shabbat that you've enabled us to see. Give you praise in our name, Yahshua Mashiach, who came through 42 generations to enable us to be grafted back to the olive tree. We do praise and thank you for all that you've done for us this week. Thanking you for our life, health, and strength. Thank you for allowing us to be able to have this day where we can reflect, refresh ourselves, and recollect our thoughts and get directions from you as to what we should do in these hours. As we go forward to share today, it is our desire that you give us the articulation of speech, the words to speak that will bring life and edification to you believers across the globe. We give you praise, we give you honor, in the name of Yahshua Mashiach. We say hallelujah, 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 Torah Yah. Amen. Brothers and sisters, I feel a little reserved today. I feel relaxed and reserved. You too? And so I don't know how loud I'm going to get. I might not get loud. I feel reserved, very reserved today. But we want to go ahead and open up our scriptures today. And I want to also greet all my family and friends that tune in on Facebook. I don't know if there's something wrong with my chat, but I don't have any greetings. And usually I have people say something, but there's something. You got something in your chat? I don't have nothing in my chat. I wonder if it's been blocked or something. Let me see. Nobody said nothing. Somebody, if you're out there, if you can hear me, press 1. Press 1 if you're here. If you're live, we have live bodies. I don't see not one person saying anything. So I don't know who's. We could have 8 spies for all we know. 8 agents. Right? Okay, there we go. So, Baruch Shabbat, Coach Catherine. Appreciate you, my sister. Our prayers go out to you and the household, the family down there in Florida. And that's a nice climate down there. it's just too far south. I would not have had a problem living in Florida, but Florida is so far away from everything. If you wanted to, have the flexibility, and I know probably some people probably say, well, you close to the islands and all that. Yeah, that's true, but I guess I'm thinking in terms of right where we are here up in the DC, the DMV / Baltimore surrounding area, and then we're like an arm reach from Pennsylvania, Philly, and Harrisburg, and all of that. So we got a lot. We have a large variety of territory we can cover here, and just a hop, skip, and a jump from Pittsburgh and Ohio. So, hallelujah. Baruch Shabbat, Moreh Josiah. Okay, he says, oh, he watches but on TV. Okay. All right. So, and I know everybody don't, I just wanted to make sure that our live chat wasn't blocked or something, because I knew usually people say something and I didn't see anybody say anything. So I was concerned that maybe something was up. Huh? Turn it. You getting hot? Good. Turn it on then. She come. It should come down hot. I got the fan blowing. I don't know if you can hear the fan blowing in the microphone or not, but so where was I at? So we're gonna go ahead and open up. I did a little TikTok clip, and let me see, maybe I'll play it. I did a TikTok clip, and I got some feedback from people. So I guess the Most High put on my heart to do this lesson. Messed up. Hold on a second. I did this lesson, so I'm gonna try to see if I can patch it through. I did this quick clip and got a lot of feedback on it, and I actually got a rebuke from a particular person. I'm gonna show you the rebuke. So, and this clip actually really is, I believe, inspired this lesson we're going to do today. Okay. So let's roll the tape. You want to hate the white man. Food for thought. If you want to hate the white man, that's your prerogative to do so. But you better not make him Esau, because in doing that, it makes you break Torah. Let's get the precept. Thou shalt not abhor an Edomite, because he is thy brother. Thou shalt not abhor an Egyptian, because thou wast a stranger in his land. So it's clear that Torah says Esau, whoever he is to you, is not your enemy, but your brother. Now we're going to show you what most people miss in Leviticus, the 26th chapter. Verse 34 says, Then shall the land enjoy her Sabbaths as long as it lie desolate, and you be in your enemy's land. Notice, enemy's land. Let's look further. Verse 38 says, And you shall perish among the heathen, and the land of your enemies shall eat you up. Remember, Torah said Esau was our brother, so he can't be the brother and the enemy at the same time. Verse 41, And that I also have walked contrary unto them, and have brought them into the land of their enemies. There's more. Verse 44 says, And yet, for all that when they be in the land of their enemies, notice enemies, not your brother, I will not cast them away, neither will I abhor them to destroy them utterly.
and to break my covenant with them, for I am Yahuwah their Elohim. Now let's wrap it up. You might say, but Deuteronomy 28. So let's look at Deuteronomy 28, since you said it. Deuteronomy 28, the last part of that verse 57, it says, for she shall eat them for one of all things secretly in the siege and straitness wherewith thine enemy shall distress thee in thy gate. So who is distressing Israel? Not the brother, Esau, but the enemy, right? The sons of Japheth. The Europeans are not Edomites. The white man are Japheth. Shalom.
All right, so that video got me some hits and got me a few rebukes, got me a few questions, right? Now, I want to open up from the beginning and say to all my European, Gentile, sons of Japheth, brothers and sisters, I am not, that video is in no ways encouraging anybody to hate Europeans. Okay. The thought that I put out there and what, TikTok doesn't give you a lot of time to, unless you do a lesson and then you upload it or live stream. I think Morey Josiah had a 10-minute lesson. I don't know if that was a live stream because I never knew you could do more than 3 minutes uploading, but because that's why I've always done clips, but clips work pretty good. But anyway, maybe you can tell me how Josiah, he's the techie when it comes to technology. I learned a whole lot from just, he knows how to navigate around stuff like that. I never knew you could do that. He got some apps on his phone. He took the lesson we did last Shabbat and he had to upload on his channel right after we finished the lesson. I don't know how he did it, but it takes me a long time. Sometimes I have my regular procedure and it takes me a while to download it first and then, but he was able to do that. So, but anyway, before I go further, I want to finish addressing that, but let's just greet the room here. Baruch Shabbat, Morey Josiah, good to see you, my brother, on this blessed Shabbat. We're going to do a part 2 to the lesson we started last week. We've been getting a lot of views in different areas. Okay. So, Coach Catherine, good to see you again, my sister. Matt Yah, praise Yah for you. Torah Rabah and your family, Mishpah Kader. I don't see a Adaya in, but Baruch Shabbat to you, Akot, your household, and Torah Rabah for you as well. Kima, Baruch Shabbat to you, my brother. Who's this here? I had to do I got my Sinai glasses. I got them on standby today, so just here I need them. All right. Olufumileo. Did I say that right? Olufumileo. Oshin. Baruch Shabbat. I don't know where you're tuning in from. It sounds like you're over in the land, but whatever the case is, Baruch Shabbat to you and all those that are in the chat that haven't chimed in yet on Torah Rabah. So my point I was making is that no, I'm not encouraging anybody to hate. We'll do a lesson on the creation of the white race. You're two different types of enemies, right? They're the enemy, and this is not a lesson about that, but just want to make a point. Maybe I'll do a TikTok video on it. But you got two different types of white people. You got those that are just happen to be white, right? They're not. They do reap some of the benefits of white privilege, but at the same time, they don't have that prejudiced heart towards people, Israelites, so forth. But then you got that other white group, which is the one that I was speaking reference to hating them. Those are the white supremacists. Those are the ones that think they better than everybody else. Every black person is supposed to be subservient to them. When they ask a question, you better answer it now. Those are the ones that I said it's okay if you want it. I'm talking about them. They, in my opinion, those are non-covenant Europeans, right? I rebuke them quick. They come in my path, but you got some Gentiles that come looking for truth. Like Wednesday, one of my neighbors came and he just sucked the life out of me, asked me questions about the scripture because he was hungry. I'm like, why is Gentile running me down? He wouldn't let me leave. He kept asking me questions. I want to know. And I was like, okay, Father, you send him in my direction, right? Now, if I did like these camps do, teach Esau the white man, which is the dumbest doctrine ever created in the Hebrew community, right? I wouldn't have entertained him. If I had that mentality that Esau, so-called white man, the devil, then I wouldn't have entertained him, right? So that's why we can't have that mentality, right? Now, even on the flip side of that, if you got a so-called Hebrew that's straight wicked, because that Hebrew could be a heathen, right? What Tanya was saying last week, that Hebrew could be a straight spiritual heathen. And nothing you say to him, he got Christianity on the brain, and he don't want no truth, right? He wants you to leave me alone, let me have my Jesus, and that's enough, right? So same with them, right? I don't deal with stiff-necked wicked. I respond back to wicked Israelites just like they respond to me. I haven't reached that place where a wicked Israelite come to me wickedly and I just say, oh well, you know. That's not my style. Now other Maureen can do that. I don't have tolerance for ignorance and stupidity. So if you come at me ignorantly, I'm gonna jump you. I guess that's the lion in me. All right. So if you come at me sarcastically, I deal with you on a sarcastic level as well. So I deal with you according to how you approach me in the spirit, right? All right, so y'all keep me in prayer on that one there. All right, I'm gonna have to turn this fan off because you want the fan? There you go. The AC blowing me out. All right, so I wanted to set that precedent up front, right? All right, I'm not encouraging you to, as a matter of fact, we're supposed to be the priest to the nations. How come we not priest somebody that's white? If they come in looking for truth, they want to be fed, I'm going to feed them. And out of the conversation, the brother was blessed. He said, I never heard anybody put the law the way you put it. We're going to break it down, right? Okay. So the title of the lesson is, right? It's always been about love in the law. Because Christianity, and I'll talk about Christianity, not talking about Christians per se. I'm talking about the doctrine of Christianity, right? This doctrine of grace, we're not under the law, has done a disservice to us because we feel like that the law is bondage, right? Now, you don't feel like it's bondage when you get a brand new vehicle, right? And they hand you the owner's manual. You open that manual up. You learn how to operate your vehicle. You're a truck driver like me. You better read the manual because the lights start coming on. You want to know what that light on means. So Torah is the owner's manual for life. It's not rules and regulations. Right? They have a book for that in trucking that have rules and regulations. But the owner's manual tells you how to operate that vehicle. Tells you how to operate your electronic device. Tells you how to operate your heat, your air condition, how to operate your power brakes and your air brakes and so forth and so on, right? If you get the detailed manual, it tells you how to do your maintenance on your vehicle, right? So we have to look at Torah now from a perspective of the operational manual for life, right? Not some legalistic, oh, you can't do this. And a lot of Hebrews really had that mentality. When we look at Torah as a book of rules of do's and don'ts, right? But Torah is deeper than rules and regulations. That is bondage. When you live a life based on rules and regulations, right? Instead of operating Torah the way it's designed for you to operate, follow the instructions so that you can have the positive results of Torah. Then it becomes like, oh, I follow Torah with a comprehension, right? All right. So to follow, a lot of people talk about law, statutes, commandments, but they have hatred. The opposite of love is hatred. Am I right? So what we call love in a lot of cases is actually hatred, right? Let me open up by saying this here, right? Most I woke me up this morning about 2:30, and I kept rolling around. I didn't know what I was going to talk about today, and I said, "Man, what's going on here?" So the Most I put that in my spirit, and I kept waking up. I don't know if I woke you up or not, but I kept getting on the computer. Love, right? I'm gonna give you a definition. This is the definition that Ruach gave to me. Love is a spiritual force, right? Love is a spiritual force, right? So in other words, love is actually spiritual, right? Love never dies. People might choose to stop loving, but love never dies because love is a spirit. So is hate. Hate is a spirit. You can operate in the spirit of hate and think that you operate in obeying Torah when you're actually operating in hate. That is when you become legalistic, because your comprehension of Torah is based off of being rigid, right? And I'm trying to dot every I. And in the process, I'm going to kill everybody in the way. That's not love. That's hatred. If I'm going to kill everybody in my way while I'm trying to serve Yah, do y'all know the Hebrews like that? I'm going to kill. Some Christians are like that. They're religious, right? They'll kill everybody. Guarantee you. You got a Christian that's going on their way to church, and somebody on the street corner say, "Brother or sister, I'm hungry. Can you get me something to eat? I'm on my way to church." You just operated in hatred, right? Sometimes the Most High will allow a situation to happen just to see where your heart is.
He healed on the Sabbath.
Huh?
He healed on the Sabbath.
Right.
It's lawful to do good on the Sabbath.
Right, exactly. So, but some people don't get in my way. I'm going to the Shabbat. I'm going to the congregation. Right. All right. The Most High will put somebody in your path, right, to test you, to see if you walking in Torah, which is love. You can't walk in Torah and not walk in love, because Torah is connected through love, right? The spirit that's of love, right? The spirit that's in love, right, is Torah. Yah is love. So when the Most High gave us rules and regulations and instructions, He gave us that rule so we can live. Not to be legalistic and be religious and say, well, I keep all these, like the man did when Yahshua said, the man said, what can I do to inherit eternal life? He said, Yahshua told him to keep the commandments. I've been doing all of that. That's how we are. But where is Torah in love, in the personality and the characteristical trait of the average Hebrew Israelite? We got to stop it, brothers and sisters. Baruch Shabbat, a code visa. So now, I was giving you a definition before I got carried away. So the definition is, so love is a spiritual force, right? Love is a spiritual force that is governed, right? The spiritual force of love, the spiritual force of love that Yah, right, has called us to is governed by Torah.
By Torah, by the Ruach.
Well, they're one and the same. You can't separate them.
Yeah.
Right? But you're right, to your point, right. But now,
Should be.
well, the words of spirit, right? So, the purpose of the schoolmaster, which is Torah, is to teach us the ways of Yah, right? So we're going to walk it. I'm not going to leave it hanging out there. We're going to break it down because I got tons and tons of scriptures to prove my point. But this is my opening statement, right? All right. So, Torah, Baruch Shabbat to you, Bias, and good to see you, my brother. So Torah is love is defined as spiritual force, the spiritual love that Yah gave us, right, is governed by Torah. But the spiritual force of love that man has, right, is governed by the flesh. Human love, right? It's still a spirit, but it's governed by the five physical senses. When I say the flesh, we will be clear, right? I'm not talking about lust. See, we gotta unlearn some things we learn in Christianity. We hear that word lust, right? Lust means desire for that which is forbidden, right? And lust is not always connected to sex, right? Like the brother I was talking to, he was lusting after my truck. He want to know how much I would be willing to get rid of my truck to him for. He covered in my truck. That's what lust is. Covet something that don't belong to you, right? All right, let me get back into it. Okay, so the human love, which is a spiritual force, is governed by the five senses, right? A man will see a female look a certain kind of way, and some senses the same way. Build a certain way, and instantly you feel a rise in your spirit. Oh, she's gorgeous. You're like, you breaking your neck trying to catch up with her. Hey, sisters, hey. Or sisters do that. Sisters might go to the gym, see a guy got some guns, right? 6-pack. Look at the muscles. Whoa. Right? That love is governed by the senses, right? Now, if we follow the senses and not follow Torah as pertaining to love, right? The human love can cause us to transgress. But the spiritual love, the love, it's the Hebrew word for the word I'm looking for, ahaba. Right? There's different words, and I don't want to get real deep because I'm going to lose somebody. But there's different words in Hebrew for love, right? So the love that the Father requires is a love that is spiritual with purpose. Okay? The human love on more level, it deals with pleasure. Right? So when people say I'm not in love with him no more, that's the fleshly love. Right? But when you have the love that the Father gave you, it's an obligatory love. You do, even when that person make you mad, you do because you have the, I don't want to use the Greek word, but y'all know everybody use that word, agape. That's Greek, the Hebrew word, okay? So when you love, when you have the Father's love, your love is governed by Torah, right? That's heavy, isn't it? So most of us in general are governed by fleshly love. So therefore it can flow with the wind because my love is based on how you make me feel. Yah's love is not based on how you make him feel. It's based on his desire to see us live our life to the maximum, to be your best potential you, right? All right. So now, that's the definition. Now back to the video. The video I played, I got a couple of rebukes. I'm gonna let y'all see some of the comments so you can actually be where I'm at. Okay. So now, after that video I played, you see the video on the screen. Okay, title is who is Esau, the Edomite? Is he white? Okay, now, so one sister came back. She says, I'm so lost as usual. Who is the enemy? Egyptians? Question mark. Right? So you gotta know who the enemy is, right? All right. So in that video, we pointed out that Torah says that Esau is our brother. Okay. So he can't be the enemy and the brother at the same time because the Most High made provisions for him. So let me just kind of correct something real quick, right? Before we get into the lesson, loving the law. Let's go, because the opposite of love is hate, right? So let's go to Deuteronomy. Where the Most High says, I'm going to pull it up this way. Thou shalt not abhor an Edomite. Okay, 23 and 7, right? All right, 23 and 7. So let's go to Deuteronomy 23 and 7. Let's blow it up. All right. Deuteronomy 23 and 7. Now follow me now. Okay, I'm not going to read the verse before that. Okay, so verse 7. He says, thou shalt not abhor an Edomite. Okay? This word here, abhor, right? For he is thy brother. Thou shalt not abhor an Egyptian, because thou was a stranger in his land, right? Now, two things I want to point out. Why would the Most High say that? Not to abhor an Edomite or an Egyptian. Now, this is an opportunity for you to give me some feedback, right? Who knows why the Most High put that there, right? Why, out of the clear blue sky, did he say, thou shalt not abhor an Edomite or an Egyptian? Anybody got any idea, any clue? Any inkling of a clue as to why the Most High just threw that out there like that? The Most High is not crazy. He made a statement for a reason, right? He made a statement for a reason, right? And for a season, right? So why did the Most High say that? The inquiring minds want to know. You ask the camp doctrine, right? I'm gonna break something down in a minute. We're gonna read something and you're gonna see something, right? But ask all of the camps, the One West camps, what does that mean? Because if you in fact follow Torah, you can hate Esau or a Hamite, because the Egyptians are Hamites, right? All right. Anybody have any answer as to why you think the Most High threw that in that verse? Right? Why would the Most High just throw that in the book? If the salvation, if the covenant was only for Israelites only, why would he say such a thing? Right? Baruch Shabbat to you, my brother Preston. Good to see you. Haven't seen you in a minute. Pray all's well with you. And the Mishpokah there. All right, since nobody want to respond, my issue stepped away. I'm going to give you the answer. Matter of fact, I'm going to read the answer, right? Okay? Are you ready? We're going to read the answer. Let's go to Exodus. Let's go to two places. We go to Exodus, right? Y'all need to be writing these passages down, because we're gonna take you into a hole where you've never gone before. When we get done, you're gonna have no other choice but to be a priest to the nations, because you're gonna see this thing from a different eye lens, right? All right. So let's go to Exodus chapter 12 first. What in the world is going on here? I got an error, says there's a problem with the server. Are you all still with us? I don't know what's okay. It's back. Something happened. All right. Let's go to Exodus chapter 12, right? This is the answer to the riddle, right? Okay. Now, let's start at verse 37, right? And the children of Israel journeyed from Ramses to Sukkoth, about 600,000 on foot that were men besides children, right? So now, I want you to see that there were about 600,000 on foot besides, right? What do you say? 600,000 on foot besides children, besides children, right? Okay. Now, verse 38. And a mixed multitude went up also with them, and flocks and herds, even very much cattle. So underline this right here, a mixed multitude. Right? So in that mixed multitude, and we can prove it by looking in other books, there were other people in the number besides the 12 sons of Yaakov, descendants. Right? There were some Cushites in there. And we see that later on when you go through the book, when you see the son of Cushi, right? There was some Mizraimites in that mix, right? We know that Yosef had taken the Egyptian wife, right? We know Israel, while they were in the land of Mizraim, only 70 went in, We got 600,000 that came out with not counting children. Mixed multitude, right? So now, within that mixed multitude, you also had in that mixed multitude Edomites. It says they call them Hebrews, right? And we go into the book of the law, talks about Hebrew servants, right? Hebrews come in many forms. Every Hebrew is not an Israelite. So you had Hebrews in the number, right? You had some Ishmaelites in that mix. You had some Edomites in that mix, Cushites, Mizraimites, right? You had it all in that mix, right? It came out a mixed multitude. Now, let's go to another place, right? Let's go to Nehemiah or Nehemiah chapter 13, right? All right. Nehemiah chapter 13. And let's start at verse 1. On that day, they read in the book of Shemaiah in the audience of the people, right? Underline this, the people. So you have the people there now. And therein was found written that the Ammonite and the Moabite should not come into the congregation of Yah forever. Okay? Now, because they met not the children of Yasharal with bread and with water, but hired Balaam against them that he should curse them. Howbeit our Elohim turned the curse into a blessing, right? He turned the curse into a blessing. Now it came to pass when they had heard the law that they separated from Israel all the mixed multitude. And before this, Elishib the priest, having the oversight of the chamber of the house of Yah, was allied unto Tobiah. Right? Now, what I want to unpack from there is we see after the exiles came back during Nehemiah, there was a mixed multitude, right? So now we're talking about a span between 2 maybe to 400 years, right? Israelites left, went into Babylon. Some of those people that they ended up connecting with in Babylon, right, were Assyrians, right? They were, and could have been some Persian mix that they intertwined within the captive lands, right? But that's for a study for another day, right? To go deeper with the Persians, right? But so Israel left out with a mixed multitude, right? So now let's go back to the book of the law. So now we'll be able to see why, right? The Most High said that, what he said in Deuteronomy 32. All right. Okay, let me go back. Where was I at? I got the wrong verse. Did I say 32? 23 is what 23 and 7. Let me just back up for a second. Let me go back because now we're going to see the same thing. What the Nehemiah quoted what the Most High said in the book of the law under Shemaiah. So if you go up to, let's go up to verse 1. All right. He that is wounded in the stone or have his privy member cut off shall not enter into the congregation of Yah. Right. Now we're going to see something that's going to change all of that. Right. Okay. A bastard shall not enter into the congregation of Yah. Even to his 10th generation shall he not enter into the congregation of Yah, right? Verse 3. The Ammonite or Moabite shall not enter into the congregation of Yah. Even to their 10th generation shall they not enter into the congregation of Yah forever, right? So we see the key is here 10, right? Why 10? Why 10 generations for the Moabites, right? That's 10 generations. So that's the eunuch. The eunuch couldn't enter the congregation of Yah. The bastard, so the bastard shall, a fatherless person shall not enter the congregation of Yah to the 10th generation. So we got 10th generation here for the bastard, 10th generation for Ammonites and Moabites. And no, they are not China and Japan. That's camp doctrine and it's false, man. You can't prove that, right? No form. You know, years ago, right? Way back, Maury Josiah can relate to this. Way back when we was learning still, there was a popular teaching that the way we knew that China and Japan were Ammon and Moab was because they throw up a dish, and whatever the dish comes down, whatever sound it makes, they name the child Bling Blang Wing. Anybody ever heard that before? That was the kind of level we taught on back then, right? Crazy. I was one that taught back in the day that Esau was the white man because they were called dukes. And I did a clip from TV where it had the Dukes of Hazzard. I'll tell you, ever learn it, never even come to knowledge of the truth, right? How about the one, this is the popular one that the camps use. How do we know Esau is the white man? Because you go to Obadiah, and Obadiah says he planted his nest above the stars. And then they play that clip. The eagle has landed. The eagle has landed. That's supposed to be proof that Esau is the white man, right? So to anybody that got common sense, that don't even make sense at all, right? But anyway, so you have 10 generations, right? Moabites, right? 10 generations. So you have to count 10 generations before. Now the key is enter into the congregation, right? The congregation. So let's break this down real quick, right? All right. Let's go over to our Strong's numbers. Let's look at this word congregation, right? Let's see, where is it at? Congregation, right here. Okay. So that's assembly, right? Assembly, right? Assemble. So in other words, the convocation is the word, also the word kalal, which means convocation, right? So in other words, what's that saying is that they could not gather at the feast days, right? That's what that's specifically speaking to. It didn't mean that they could not live in the nation of Israel, right? And benefit from the proceeds of the national land. It just meant that they couldn't, to the 10th generation, they had to be purged. They had to be proven, right? They had to come, all of that had to be weeded out the bloodline. In other words, it took 10 generations for all of that hatred to be weeded out of them, right? So that they couldn't have a heart to love Yah and love Yah's covenant and not hate the people that Yah brought the covenant through. Right? So that's love in Torah. Y'all didn't say, oh, they're going to be destroyed forever. Right? All right. Does that make sense? Now, I know you probably never heard it explained that way before. But bling, blang, blung. All right. We was crazy back then. I'm telling you, we had some crazy doctrine. Now, so let's go back to Deuteronomy. Let's go back down. Now I'm going to go back down to Esau because that's where I started, right? So we just showing you that what this is talking about, right? Keeping the feast days. Everybody that keep the feast days had to be circumcised, and they had to come under the bonds of the covenant. So there had to be a purging time, right? Why do you think the Most High is going to have the kingdom age for 1,000 years? Some nations got to be purged. They got to be purged, brothers and sisters. It's going to take 1,000 years to purge the earth of all this hatred that they have towards Yah's people and all this hatred that they have towards Yah, right? Because they're the enemies of Yah first. They only are enemies because they're the enemies of Yah. And when they teach a doctrine to keep you away from obeying Yah, that's your enemy right there. All right. So now let's go back. And then let me do something while I'm there because it's on my mind. Let's go to Psalms real quick. We're going to come back to Deuteronomy. Go to Psalms real quick. Psalms 83, right? Okay. Moray Josiah touched this last Shabbat, I believe it was. Okay. Okay, Psalms. Oh my. Psalms 83, all right? Let's just give a little precept here, okay? Start verse 1. It says, keep not thy silence, O Yah, hold not thy peace, and be not still, O Yah, for thy enemies, right, make a tumult. They that hate thee, right? They that hate thee, see that? They that hate thee. So who do they hate? They hate Yah. So the doctrine of Christianity hates Yah. Because why? When they teach you to not love Yah, we're going to break it down in a minute in the verses, in the scriptures, right? To love Yah is to keep his commandments. If you say you love Yah and you don't keep his commandments, you don't love Yah. So Christianity teaches you not to keep the commandments. You're not under the law. But you say you love Yah. You don't love Yah. You are just as much of a hater of Yah, right, as the heathens. So an Israelite that hates an Edomite, right, hates Yah. When you hate an Edomite, you hate Yah. That's why I said it's dangerous for you to make the white man Esau, because you totally push yourself into the place of disobeying Torah. If he's the white man. That's why you got to see this thing in its perspective, right? If you're upholding that doctrine that Esau is the white man and you hate the white man, you're not obeying God's law. And we know he's not the white man, but I'm just saying, for those that uphold that doctrine, you in error to Torah. What's it going to be? Are you going to change Torah to suit your fleshly love? Because you hate somebody that's white? So you're going to change Torah, you're going to break Torah so you can hate and not love. That's sensual and devilish, right? And the brother said to me in the video comment, "You love your oppressor." And I responded back, "I love Yah. Yah says don't hate Esau if he is," and I don't agree that he's the white man, but in your estimation, you do. So you in error to Torah if you believe he's Esau. Your violation, right? Now, let's go back. I wanted to show you that they that hate Yah, right? We're going to show you some stuff. We're going to amplify. We're going to open this baby up. Y'all go ahead and tag some people. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, please do so. Hit your notification bell so you know when we go live, right? Like the video so it can get into the algorithms, right? Share it on your Facebook page. Share it on your TikTok, Instagram, or wherever you do your social media, right? Now, so we got to get this hatred out of our heart, because the hatred is prolonging the captivity. Do you know every time we teach hatred, we prolong the captivity of Israel in the lands of the enemies, right? Esau's the brother. We're in the land of the enemies, right? Now, let's go back. I'm getting worked up now. I said I was laid back. All right. Let's go back to Deuteronomy. All right. Where was that? 17? It's 7. So, hold on a second. Now I got to find my verse. Somebody help me out. Where was that? 23 and 7. Okay. So once again, let's reiterate. All right. So he says, "Thou shalt not abhor," right? To loathe, to detest, right? Right? And all of that means to hate. So thou shalt not hate, abhor an Edomite, right? For he is thy brother. What's the word for brother? Ak. So if the white man is Esau, he's your brother. And you have an obligation to obey Torah. You're going to change that doctrine real quick now. You're going to upgrade your doctrine and say, well, Esau is really not the white man. We were misinformed. But the white man's still an enemy, right? So we can hate him, right? And we're not breaking Torah. So I'm not advocating anybody to hate anybody, but what I'm saying is that Esau, you can't make the white man Esau because you can be breaking Torah. Okay? So if Esau is your brother, that's why I said in the video, you better not hate him because you breaking Torah. All right? You breaking Torah when you hate Esau. Yeah, but y'all hate Esau. You are not Yah. He reserves the right to do whatever he wants because why? He's sovereign. Right? When you become Yah, you can hate whoever you want to hate. Yah gave us, the children of Israel, a specific set of instructions to not hate our brother. All right? Now, Baruch Shabbat, Lion Pride, good to see you, my brother. Baruch Shabbat, Coach Sherry, good to see you, my sister. Let's continue now, all right? So, this is the introduction. I haven't gotten to the lesson yet. Like Maury Josiah said, this is the introduction. We're trying to lay the foundation so we can see we got to stop this hatred. We are prolonging our captivity. We got to see this, brothers and sisters. Tell every one of them camp members, stop teaching that hate-filled doctrine. You are prolonging our captivity. You prolonging it with your hatred. All right. Now, so let's go back in. Thou shalt not hate, right, an Edomite. Thou shalt not hate an Edomite, for he is thy brother. Thou shalt not hate a Mizraimite or Hamite, because you were a stranger. All right, look at that. In his land. What's that word there? Foreigner, a guest, right? That's going to come back and make some sense in a few minutes. That stranger. Because see, the camp doctrine want to make the stranger be an Israelite of another tribe. Matter of fact, let's debunk that real quick, right? All right, while I'm there. Let's go to, hold on a second. Hold on a second. Let's go to Genesis, right? Let's go to Genesis 17. We're going to debunk that real quick. Baruch Shabbat, Nazarite vow, 616 in the house. So, let's go to Genesis 17 and 12, because we have got to, right, not hate the stranger. Oh my mercy. So when we comprehend that we the priesthood, now the Most High has empowered us to do something with the stranger. Right? As long as we continue to hate anybody that's not an Israelite, we fail to perform the duty of being priesthood. We become religious. We become a self-hate group. As much as you might say, we're not a hate group. Yes, you are. This is not an exclusive club. It's Israel only. That's a hate group. You can say what you want to say. You can put it all up in your videos at the beginning. We're not a hate group. You are. When you teach that this is for us only, that is a hate group. Y'all didn't call us to be a hate group. Oh my goodness. So go to Genesis 17 real quick, right? Genesis 17. This is what the Most High told Abraham, right? Let's start at verse 11. Matter of fact, let's see. Let's go to verse 10, right? So this is the Most High speaking to Abraham. He says, this is my covenant, right? This is my covenant, right? This is my covenant, right? This is my, whose covenant is it? The Most High's covenant. See, you was lied to. You said it's covenant of Israel. You said the covenant of Abraham. Y'all said, this is my covenant. See, when you comprehend that this is the Most High's covenant, right, then you can't be braggadocious and boastful and be this is for only us. Y'all can't have this. This is for us. Right? So, Most High said, this is my covenant, which you shall keep. Right? All right, the word for keep, let me help you out here. Shamar. Shamar means to hedge, guard, and protect, and to attend to. So, whose covenant is it? It's the Most High's covenant. This is not Abraham. This is not Israel's covenant, but this is the Most High's covenant that he made us to be the caretakers of. When we see that, then we can see that the Most High had a plan for his creation. Not willing that any should perish, but that all, how many people included in all? Some, most, all. So that all should come into repentance, right? Now, let's go back in. So, we comprehend that this is Yah's covenant that you shall keep between me and thy seed after thee. Every man child among you shall be circumcised. So this debunks the spiritual Israel doctrine, because he specifically is talking about the literal seed first. There's got to be somebody in that seed line, right? And the covenant was passed down through his seed with provisions for another people, which we're going to see in a minute. All right, let's go back in. Talking about love of Yah in the Torah, right? Now, and you shall circumcise the flesh of your foreskin. It shall be a token of the covenant betwixt or between, that's between, right? Me and you, right? So that's the token, right? Circumcision. Now, the circumcision is the physical sign, which is a reflection of obedience. In other words, the flesh has to be crucified. The flesh has to be slaughtered. That's what the circumcision is. That's why you can't get rid of the shadow, because the shadow reflects the truth. The circumcised heart is a person, a man, woman, boy, girl, child, who is in total surrenderance to Yah's Torah. Okay? Already Josiah gave me a verse. I'm going to read that, but I'm going to read this one too. That's an addendum, as you say. Okay, now. Okay, I got you. Told I Rabah for that Nazarite. He gave me a verse that we'll address all that. Okay, so now, I'm glad you said that. Let's do this here, all right? Torah, let me say this here. Torah does not contradict Torah. So everything has a function, right? Purpose, right? All right, so when the Most High says something, that's why when you Shema means to hear intelligently, right? When you hear intelligently, you comprehend the purpose why the statement was made, right? Everything that the Most High said is not all inclusive in every situation, right? That's why he called situational sins, right? David was supposed to have been stoned to death for taking another man's wife, committing the act of adultery, right? Why wasn't he stoned? Okay. Now, let's get back, and I'm going to hit that. Now, let's go back. So, the Most High said, and he that is 8 days old shall be circumcised among you. Right? Every man child in your generations, he that is born in the house, there goes the house, or bought with money, which means now you got two categories of people in Abraham's house. Those who was born in the house, right? If you're born in the house, it don't necessarily mean you are a seed. You born in the house, you could possibly be, right, born in the house and be a cousin, right? Not necessarily a seed. Could be another Hebrew from Eber's children that could be in the house, right? Lot wasn't Abraham's son, but he was, and so his children that was born in the house would be considered to be in the house, right? So you got born in the house, and then you have what? Who is bought with money. That's a servant, right? So, or somebody that's employed, okay? Bought with money means I hire you for a specific, right? Not chattel slavery. That was a hired servant, somebody who you hired to live with you, living maid, etc., right? Like Hagar was, right? Okay, now let's continue. So, or of any stranger, there it is, that's the word I want, or of any stranger, right? And now he goes into define what the stranger, you don't have to know the Hebrew for this here, builder, heathen, foreigner, right? Okay, so even if you don't know that, right? But the way it's explained here, it explains it. It says, he, the stranger, which is not of thy seed. See that? Right. Right? Isn't that something? 13. He that is born in thy house, and he that is bought with money, must needs be circumcised, and my covenant shall be in your flesh for an everlasting covenant. So we see strangers, right? Or everybody that's born in the house has the rights, right, to be a son or daughter of the covenant. The Most High didn't discriminate. He's not a respecter of persons, but we are. Because you don't look like me, your hair is not woolly like me. Oh, brother, you got your head bald. You don't even comprehend that passage, right? Nazarite shaved his head off, right? Shaved his hair off. So what? Was he in transgression? He put a razor to his head, right? But anyway, so now let's see. Let's go. A Nazarite vow 616. Give me the specific verse, right? I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna read the one that Moriah Josiah gave us, and then I'm gonna try to transition back into the love in the law, right? Okay, so 1 Kings 8:41. Okay, let's go there. 1 Kings 8:41. All right, Torah Rabbah for you. And if anybody else have anything else you want to add, I'll read it. 1 Kings 8:41. Okay. All right. 1 Kings 8:41. Let's go up. Let's go up a couple verses before that. Let's start verse 38, I think I want. Let's see. Okay, let's start verse 37. Is that a good place to start? Let's start at verse 36. No, let's go back a little further. Let's start at verse 33. Okay, we'll start at verse 33. Okay. All right. 1 Kings chapter 8, verse 33. When the people of Israel be smitten down before the enemy, right? Because they have sinned against thee, and shall turn to thee and confess thy name and pray and make supplication. Let me blow this up here. Okay. If there be in the land a famine, if there be pestilence, blasting, mildew, locusts, or if there be caterpillar, if there be enemy, besiege them in the land of their cities, whatever plague, whatsoever sickness there be. So notice he's talking about the enemy, right? All right, Esau's the brother. Let's continue. What prayer and supplication soever be made by any man or by all thy people Israel, which shall know every man the plague of his own heart, and spread forth his hands towards his house. So we got a plague. We got a plague in the heart, right? Underline that. The plague of his own heart. 39. Then hear thou in heaven thy dwelling place, and forgive and do and give to every man according to his ways, whose heart thou knowest, right? There it is. Whose heart thou knowest. For thou, even thou only, know the hearts of the children of men. That's true, right? So Yah is the only one that knows the hearts of men, right? Let's go back into it. That they may fear thee all the days that they live in the land which you gave unto our fathers, right? All right, verse 41. Moreover, concerning, this is what Moray Josiah was pointing out. Moreover, concerning a stranger, right, that is not of thy people, Israel. See that? So Moray Josiah shared this last week, right? You can't get no clearer than that. The stranger that is not of thy people. Got to hire somebody to teach you wrong. Y'all better stop paying y'all tithes and sending y'all contributions to these camps that's sucking or taking y'all money and giving you a junk food meal. Right? Let's go back in. Concerning a stranger that is not of thy people, Israel, but come out of a far country for thy name's sake. Man, where's the far country? Far, right? Is America a far country? So, can there be some strangers that are not of thy people come under the bonds of the covenant in America? Yes. Can there be some strangers that are in UK come under the bonds of the covenant? Yes. There are Israelites there too. We know that. There are Israelites in Russia. We know that. But there are also strangers too. That the strangers, wherever the most, oh my goodness, that's it. Y'all sent us to return to the covenant and to be priests in all the lands where we were scattered, to bring them under the bonds of the covenant. That's why we can't teach this grace doctrine. We got to bring everybody back to the covenant, Yah's covenant, because in the lands of our captivity, our job is not to preach hatred towards those nations. Tell you're going to hell, you're doomed, you're going to be destroyed, right? But our job, right, because we disobey Yah, is to return back to the covenant, and now in the lands of our captivity, preach salvation to all those who have an ear to hear what the Ruach is saying, and use our life as an example of what it means to have redemption, and what it means that we are people went into captivity captivity because we broke the law, statutes, and commandments. But now in captivity, we're returning to Yah and we're teaching the nations why we went into captivity. That's why we were planted amongst the beasts. After the prophet Yirmiyahu said, right? Yah sowed us among the beasts. Woo! Oh my, y'all got to see this thing. See, we got to teach the love of Torah because we was disobedient, our forefather, and we went into captive lands, and now he has awakened us to the covenant, and now we teach the nations why we're here and why we're here. And when that number is reached, Yah is pleased. All right, let's bring them back home now. And let's exalt them above their fathers. Y'all got to see this thing, brothers and sisters. It ain't no time for us to preach hatred. It's time for us to have our hearts circumcised so y'all can see and be pleased this is what Shlomo was saying in 1 Kings. Oh my. I feel this thing now. Woo. My. See, that ties back with Exodus 19. Let's go there real quick. We didn't read it, but let's go there. Exodus 19. All right. In the 3rd month, when the children of Israel were going forth out of the land of Mizraim, the same day came they into the wilderness of Sinai. For they were departed from Rephidim and were come to the desert of Sinai and had pitched in the wilderness. And there Yasharal camped before the mount. Shemaiah went up unto Yah, and Yah called him out of the mountain, saying, Thus shalt thou say to the house of Yaakov, to the house. Thus shalt thou tell the children, right? The house and the children. There it is again. You have seen what I did unto the Mizraimites, and how I bore you on eagle's wings, and brought you to myself. Now therefore, if you will obey my voice indeed, right? Now, he's not talking about the Levitical priests. He's not talking about the sons of Aharon. He's not talking about them. He's talking about everybody that came out, the mixed multitude. But you stuck in the flesh because you don't see the original covenant of Yah. You see it as a fleshly covenant. When Yah said this covenant is spiritual. I made a promise to a man who lived amongst the kingdom of Nimrod, where they were idolatrous worshipers. And he dared to be different among the heathens. See the parallel? So Yah has us living amongst the heathens, and the challenge to you is to dare to be different than the heathens that are around about you. And to instruct and to teach the ways of Yah. With the love of Yah that he showed us, that he spared us and didn't wipe us completely out in the lands of captivity. Man, oh man. Woo! Hallelujah! That's love. That's love. Man, I'm getting a little teary-eyed right now just thinking about it. That Yah loved us so much that he allowed us to wake up out of our paganism and captive mindset, out of the torture of religion, and now to embrace his way of life. That we could teach other people to not hate but to love in Torah. Woo! My. All right. I gotta catch my breath now. Oh my man! If I was in the congregation, I'd be like my dad say, "Would you lift your hands and praise Him?" Oh, that's a praise break right there, man. Woo! That's a praise break. Oh my! Think about that. That's a praise break. The love of Yah is so strong and so powerful that even though our forefathers disobeyed the Most High Yah, He yet and still loved us, put His arms around us and reeled us into this marvelous light. My. I'm messed up right now. Woo! My. I'm trying to hold myself together. But we got hatred in our hearts, right? We on the street corners beating up the people we supposed to be offering a hope of salvation to. All right, let me get back. Woo. So Exodus 19, he said, if you will obey my voice indeed and keep my covenant, then you shall be a peculiar treasure unto me above all people, for the earth is mine, right? That's what he said. Now, I want to look at, before I go further, we're going to go in deep in a minute. Let me look at this here. Line process, salvation of the humble Judeans. So you heathen Gentiles better humble yourself and cleave, graft in, and no one hating the truth is not hate speech. Okay. I'm not sure if I follow what you were saying there, my brother. Bring a little clarity to that, what you were saying. Okay, maybe it was something I said at the time when you commented it. Let's see. So Nazarite says, Ezra 10:3. Okay, let's go to Ezra 10:3. Okay. Y'all bear with me a second, boy. I'm just messed up. I'm trying to get myself back together. But just the thought of that, man, whoo, it did something to me. I got the sniffles. Oh my, let's see. We're just getting started. How much time? What time is it? It's almost 11 o'clock. Man. Okay. Let's do this, then we're going to get back. We're going to get into some passages I want to read, okay? Let's go up to verse 1. Now, when Ezra had prayed, and when he had confessed, weeping and casting himself down before the house of Yah, there assembled unto him out of Israel a great congregation of men and women and children, for the people wept very sore. Shechaniah, the son of Yael, that's actually Yael, one of the sons, let's see, was it? Oh, Yakiel. Okay, so it is Yakiel. Yah will live. Yakael. Okay, maybe I did. It's the same thing, though, I believe. Same name. Okay. One of the sons of Elam answered and said to Ezra, we have trespassed against Yah, right? and have taken strange wives of the people of the land, yet now there is hope in Israel concerning this thing. Okay. Now, therefore, let us make a covenant with our Elohim to put away all the wives and such as are born of them according to the counsel of, now notice here, according to the counsel of, he's not the counsel of Yah, right? That's key there. And of those that tremble at the commandments of Yah, and let it be done according to Torah. Okay, now, here's a couple questions here, right? Whenever you read something like this, you got to go back to the book of the law and see what was Yah's commandment about strange women, right? There's a couple of different things, and then we have to also look and see who are these strange women, right? Let's see if we can kind of get an eye, because you got two types of strange women, right? All right. Baruch Shabbat Adaya, good to see you, my sister. Thought I would buy for you, the family there. Baruch Shabbat, Shalom. All right, so let me see. Arise, for this matter belongeth to thee. We will be with thee of a good courage, and do it. Then arose Ezra and made the chief priests, Levites, and all Israel to swear that they should do according to this word. And they swore. Ezra rose up from before the house of Yah and went into the chamber, and Johanan, the son of Elishib, and when he came thither, he did eat not bread nor drink water, for he mourned because of the transgression of them that had been carried away. And they made a proclamation throughout all Yehuda and Jerusalem, that unto all the children of captivity, that they should gather themselves together to Jerusalem, and whosoever would not come with 3 days, according to the council, the princes and elders, all this substance should be forfeited, and himself separate from the congregation of those that have been carried away. Okay, so let's see. What's the punchline here? Help me out there, 616, because I think the verse where I think what you might be talking about is where they put the women and children out. Let me see. Okay, and they made an end with all the men that had taken strange wives by the first day of the month, those guilty of intermarriage, and among the sons of the priests there were found that had taken strange wives, namely of the sons of Yeshua, the son of Yozadak, and his brethren, Masiah and Azar, and Yarib and Gadiah. And they gave their hands that they would put away their wives, and being guilty, they offered a ram of a flock for their trespass. And the sons of Immer, Hani, and Zabadiah, and the sons of Harim, and Masiah, and Eliah, and Shemaiah, and Jehiel, and Uzziah, the sons of, okay, all right. Okay, now, there's a couple things in play with that. You have to follow law as pertaining to strange women. And so, in my estimation, I would guesstimate that they didn't follow the protocols of strange wives, because strange wives wasn't forbidden, right, for them to have, but there was a protocol, right? So real quick, without making a lesson out of it, let me see if I can point you in the right direction to that, because you can't make Torah convenient, okay? And then we are captive lands, and most of us have had, a lot of us have had children outside the covenant. So what do you do with them? You just disregard them and don't honor them as your blood sons and daughters? Ezra knew what This is how the camp people will reply to all nations. Okay. This is what Israel knew what it is. This is how camp people will. Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay. Right. So, okay, I won't go there then. So basically, matter of fact, I will do that for those that might be viewing us and say, how do you respond to that? Okay. So real quick, and then we're going to get back to the lesson, right? Real quick, let's go to Deuteronomy 21. That's why everything has to be Torah based, right? You can throw something out there and not have it based in Torah, and then you still could be in error, even though you have good intentions in your heart. But it's not necessarily Torah. That goes again, the love of the heart, right? Human love, human reasoning is not Yah's way, right? Okay. So yeah, you made a mistake. You married somebody. You married a Gentile who you call Edomite. And now you ready to kick him out the house, whatever. No. All right. Okay. So Deuteronomy 21:10. When thou goest to war against thine enemies. So there's a key right there. When thou go to war against thy enemies, and Yah have delivered them into your hands, and you have taken them captive, and see among the captives a beautiful woman, right? She's an enemy, right? And have desired unto her that thou would have her to be thy wife, right? Watch this now. He didn't say you can't have her. Then you shall bring her home, right, to your house. She shall shave her head and par her nails. And she shall put the raiment of her captivity from off her, and shall remain in your house, and bewail her father and her mother a full month. And after that thou shalt go in unto her, and be her husband, and she shall be thy wife. Right? Now verse 14 says, and if it shall be, if thou have no delight in her, then thou shalt let her go where she will. But you shall not sell her to any all for money. You shall not make merchandise of her, because you have humbled her. Okay. Question is, these brothers do right by Yah? And short answer to that, 616, Jacob have I loved, Esau have I hated. Short answer to that is, there's not one Israelite on this planet that is Yah. So you can't use that because you ain't Yah. You don't have no rights to choose to hate a nation of people. Yah reserved that judgment. So throw that out the window. It don't work. All right. That's a bullet point for the One West Camp doctrine. Now let me try to get back in here. Okay, so, that was an introduction. All right, let's go into did we read Exodus chapter 20? Let's do Exodus 20 real quick. Okay. Okay. Love, it's always been about love in Torah, right? So here we go. We're going to read some verses real quick. So make some notes here. I'll try to extend this out a little bit just to get some of these verses, because I want you all to get these verses and and put them in your notepads, right? Okay, all about love. So when your Christian friends say, "Oh, love is a new commandment," we're gonna show you that it's not, right? Okay, let's go. Exodus 20:10. But the seventh day is the Shabbat of Yah. No, that's not where I wanted to be. Hold on a second. That's not where I wanted to be. I wanted Exodus 20:6. That's it. 20:6. I said 10, so I want 6. Let's go up to 6. And showing mercy, let's go verse 5. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them nor serve them, for I, Yah, am jealous, visiting the iniquities of the fathers upon the children to the third and fourth generation of them that hate me. And show mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments. Right? So that's it, right? Now, I didn't answer, I just came back in my mind. I didn't finish with Deuteronomy. I didn't explain, I didn't give my answer in 23. Okay, so let's do this here. Kind of got sidebarred a little bit. I got to answer my question, answer the riddle. Okay, so when it says here, thou shalt not abhor an Edomite, for he is thy brother, thou shalt not abhor an Egyptian, because thou was a stranger in his land. The reason for that is because amongst the multitude you had Edomites and Mizraimites in the multitude, right? So that's why he said that the children that are begotten of the Edomite, or the children that is begotten of the Mizraimite, right, shall enter into the congregation. They can participate with the feast days, right? Shall enter into the congregation of Yah in their third generation. So it didn't say, he's told to destroy forever, right? Read. Esau have I hated, Jacob have I loved. Read, bring it out. Bring that out. Explain that to me. Tell anybody in the One West camp, call me, 443-480-3166. Call me and explain that to me. Esau shall be destroyed forever. Right? Explain that to me. What does that mean? It means just what it says. The children that are begotten of them shall enter, not be destroyed, shall enter into the congregation of Yah. So the point I'm making is that some of us could very well be of Esau's seed, passing as an Israelite, because Esau was Jacob's twin brother. They looked alike. One was light skinned and one was dark skinned, right? So you just might be eliminating yourself. Or you could be a Mizraimite. You could be we look at the ancestral DNA, that's why those brothers don't believe in that. It connects us back to Ramses III. Somebody left out there was a relative to Ramses III. Right? All right, now. That's right. Vengeance is Yah's. Told everybody for that. Eliah Stone. Good to see you, my brother. All right, now let's move forward. We're going to move fast now, all right? So Exodus chapter 20:6. Showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me. Right? Love me and keep my commandments. There goes your love. Right? So that's Exodus 20:6. He showed mercy unto thousands of them that love him and keep his commandments. Right? Now, what I want to do is, let's do this real quick here. Let's go. All right, we're going to do this here. Let's do it this way. I'm working with two screens here. See me looking back and forth. All right. So let's go to Leviticus 19 and 18. So write down Leviticus 19:18, right? Okay. Leviticus 19:18. All right. Thou shalt not avenge nor bear a grudge against the children of thy people, but thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. I am Yah. See that? So that's the love. Verse 19 says, you shall keep my statute. You shall not let the cattle gender with diverse kinds, right? So let's go to the next verse here. So we got that. And then let's go to Leviticus. Which one do I want? Bear with me a second here. Let's go to Deuteronomy. No, hold on a second. Let's go to Leviticus 19:34, right? This is the stranger again. Let's start at verse 32. Thou shalt rise up before the hoary head and honor the face of the old man and fear Yah. I am Yah. And if a stranger, there it is again, sojourn with thee in your land, you shall not vex him. Right? So they want you to believe that this stranger is an Israelite. No, we just showed you that the strangers, right, was not of the seed of Abraham. Okay. So if the stranger dwells with you, you shall be unto him as one born among you, and you shall love him as yourself. For you were strangers in the land of Mizraim. I am Yah, your Elohim. So why is he saying that, right? Why is he saying the stranger, right? So where did we read that at? We read that earlier when the Most High made the covenant with Abraham. He said, the stranger that is in thy house, that is not of thy seed. So the Most High don't change his protocol. So if that stranger is someone that's not of the seed of Abraham, then the same thing applies in the nation of Israel. You got some strangers that is not of Abraham's seed, that sojourn among Israelites, that came under the bond of the covenant of Yah through Yah's Torah. That's called the covenant of love. Right? All right. So that's Leviticus 19:34. Let's read it again. The stranger that dwell with you shall be unto you as one born among you. So why would he say as one born among you if that was an Israelite? It makes no sense at all, right? So that stranger that is among you, right, shall be unto you as one born among you, and you shall love him as yourself. For you were strangers, right, in the land of Mizraim. So as we continue to teach as priests to the nations, we comprehend the covenant of Yah, right? We lose all of this hate-filled doctrine because we mad because, see, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to level with you. The reason why some of these brothers are full of hatred is because they never had a father in their life to love them. So they don't know how to love. You grew up in the streets. Some of them been in and out of jail. They came across some camp on the street, and they embraced them, and that's all the fatherhood they know, that hate-filled doctrine. So that hate-filled doctrine has become their father. But a lot of this bitterness towards the biological father that wasn't in their life. That's why a lot of those brothers can throw away a child that they say was of a heathen woman? Because they never had a relationship with a father. You got people on the street corners ministering to the hurting, and they're hurting themselves. Right? First step is forgive your father. If he was in your life, or if he wasn't in your life completely, or if he wasn't in your life at all, the first step before you begin to be a priest is forgive. That's what Yahshua said. When you come to offer your gift, be reconciled, right? When you stand praying, forgive. You can't minister Yah's Torah as long as you have unforgiveness in your heart, because your doctrine is going to be based off of hatred and not based off of the love of Torah. You don't know how to love nobody. You don't know how to love nobody. Right? Some brothers need to just go somewhere and just cry. All that pain that's on the inside because your father wronged you, or your father wronged your mother, or your father was no good, or your father might have been a man from another nation. You don't want nobody to know that. So, since you heard a doctrine tell you, you are what your father is, so a lot of brothers living in denial. They'll never tell who their father is. Some of these Israelites' fathers are Gentiles. They'll never tell you. Eliah, I'm address that when I get ready to close. Something you said, okay? There's a lot involved in that, okay? I think, let me say this right here, right? A lot of Israelites need counsel, right? Y'all always speaks about counsel. See, that's part of our problem. We don't have counsel, right? We get angry and make emotional decisions because we don't have good counsel. I was guilty of that. I made some stupid mistakes without counsel, right? And you pay for those mistakes, right? It costs you sometimes, you know? But we'll address that when I'm finished. Let me kind of try to get some more verses in here before we close out. Okay, now, so that's Leviticus 19 and what was that, 34? So Yah has called us to love, right? So he said to love Yah, which brought you out of the land of Israel. Therefore you shall observe my statutes and all my judgments and do them. I am Yah, right? So when we that's when we have protocol. See, people don't know Torah. Torah, the first response to Torah is not to excommunicate a person like that, right? There are steps before you excommunicate a person, right? We make the mistake by giving people ultimatums. You don't serve Yah, get out! That's the biggest mistake. Right? You don't give people ultimatums. When you married him, you was a heathen, and now you in the truth, and now you want to kick him out the house. Right? All right, let me get back in here. Okay. Deuteronomy 5 and 10. Okay. It says, showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments. So there you have love. Love is there again. Love keeping the commandments, right? Let's go further. Next verse I want to do is Deuteronomy 6 and 5. All right. Hear, Israel, Yahweh our Elohim is one, Yahweh. And you shall love Yah with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your might. Right? So that's Deuteronomy 6 and 5. All right, Deuteronomy 7 and 7. Let's go there. All right. Yah did not set his love upon you, nor choose you because you were more in number than any other people, for you were fewest of all people. But because Yah loved you, and because he would keep the oath which he had sworn unto your fathers, have Yah brought you out with a mighty hand and redeemed you out of the house of bondmen and from the hand of Pharaoh, king of Mizraim. All right. Let's go to the next verse. Let's go to verse 9. Know therefore that Yah, thy Yah, he is Yah, the faithful Yah, which keepeth covenant and mercy with them that love him and keep his commandments to the 1,000 generations. How about that? How about that for love, right? That's 7 and 9. Okay, drop down to verse 13. And he will love thee and bless thee and multiply thee, and he will bless thee in the fruit of thy womb and the fruit of thy land and the corn and thy wine and thy oil and thy increase of thy kind and thy flocks of thy sheep in the land which he swore unto thy fathers to give to thee. Right? All right. That's Yah extending his love, showing his love to us for what? Obedience, right? All right. Let's go to Deuteronomy 10 and 12. And now, Yasharal, what doth Yah, thy Elohim, require of thee but to fear Yah, thy Elohim, to walk in his ways and to love him and to serve Yahweh, thy Elohim, with all thy heart and with all thy soul. Right? Okay. So there we have it. Let's go to the next verse. Let's read the verse 13. To keep the commandments of Yah and the statutes which I command you this day for thy good. How about that? Behold, the heaven and the heaven of heavens is Yah's, and the earth also with all that therein is. How about that? Who's included in the earth? The sons of Adam, right? Let's go to the next verse. Only Yah have a delight in thy fathers to love them and to choose their seed after them, even you above all people, as it is this day. Circumcise therefore the foreskin of your hearts, and be no more stiff-necked, right? Look at that. Circumcise the foreskin of your hearts, and be no more circumcised. See, we can't evangelize people until our heart's circumcised. That hate-filled doctrine is not heart circumcised doctrine. It's doctrine that's based off of emotional baggage. Let's go to the next verse. Skip down to 19, right? Love ye therefore the stranger. Uh-oh, there go that stranger again. For ye were strangers in the land of Mizraim. So why he keep saying love the stranger if a stranger is an Israelite? we can't get around it no kind of way, right? Let's go to the next verse. Chapter 11. Therefore thou shalt love Yah thy Elohim and keep his charge and his statutes and his judgments and his commandments always. Right? So what is the love? Love is what? Keeping his charge, statutes, judgments, and commandments. Isn't that what Abraham did in Genesis 26:5. All right. Let's go to the next verse. Let's go to verse 13. And it shall come to pass, if you shall hearken diligently unto the commandments, which I command you this day, to love Yah, your Elohim, to serve him with all your heart and with all your soul, that I will give you the rain of your land in its due season, the first rain and the latter rain, that thou may gather in thy corn and thy wine and thine oil. I will send grass in the fields for thy cattle, and thou may eat and be full. Right? Now here's the kicker. But take heed to yourself that your heart be not deceived, and you turn aside to serve other deities and worship them. And then Yah's wrath will be kindled against you, and shut up the heaven, that there be no rain, and that the land yield not her fruit, and lest you perish quickly from off the good land which Yah giveth you. Verse 18. Therefore shall you lay up these my words in your heart and in your soul, and bind them for a sign upon your hand, that they may be as frontlets between your eyes. Okay, why we don't do that? We wear the fringes, but we don't bind, right? He says, bind them for a sign upon your hand. I'm just saying. All right, let's go to the next verse. Let's skip down to 22. For if ye be diligently keeping all these commandments which I command you to do them, to love Yah, your Elohim, and to walk in all his ways, and to cleave unto him. So we got love all day long, right? We can continue going. Let me read a few more, then we're going to wrap it up. All right, let's go to Deuteronomy 13:3. Thou shalt not, let's back up to verse 2. Let's go to verse 1. Okay. If there arise among you a prophet or dreamer of dreams, and give you a sign or wonder, and the sign or wonder come to pass, whereof he spoke unto you, saying, let's go after other deities, lords, gods, the Christ is Jesus. And incidentally, Jesus is breaking. If you can't see that Jesus is another deity, and you intermingling Jesus with Yahshua, you don't see that you're violating the commandment. Third commandment. Thou shalt not take the name of Yah thy Elohim in vain. So that's a violation. But anyway, I digress. And the sign or wonder comes to pass, whereof unto thee saying, let us go after other deities which thou hast not known, and let us serve them. That thou shalt not hearken to the words of that prophet or the dreamer of dreams, for Yah, your Elohim, prove you to know whether you love Yah with all your heart and with all your soul. So dreamer comes in many forms. You got pastors telling you, you got Hebrew Israelites telling you we're not under the old covenant. Right? They're keeping you in captivity. All right, let's go to Deuteronomy 19:9. Let's read verse 8. And if Yah, thy Elohim, enlarge thy coast, as he hath sworn unto your fathers, to give thee all the land which he promised to give unto your fathers, and if you shall keep all these commandments to do them, which I command you this day, to love Yah, thy Elohim, and walk ever in his ways, then shalt thou add 3 cities more for thee besides these 3. Right? So Yah is always telling us. See, Torah, that's why I said, when you follow Yah's instructions, you should see some results. If you follow Yah's Torah and you're not seeing results, something's wrong. Something's wrong somewhere. We're supposed to see results to our obedience to Yah's Torah. Otherwise, it's no good. if you obeying Yah's Torah and you're not seeing no positive results, you got to question some things, brothers and sisters. Right? Is Yah speaking and saying something, telling you to get out of that thing where you in? All right. Let's read a couple more, then we're going to look at Brother Elias' comment and any other comments or questions anybody might have. All right. So what was that? 19 and 9. Let's see what else we got here. Oh, how about this? How about this one? This is my favorite. This is my favorite Deuteronomy chapter 30, right? And verse 5. And Yah thy Elohim will bring thee. Let's go up. Let's go up. Let's see. Start at verse 1. It shall come to pass when all these things come upon thee, the blessings, the blessings, the blessings, the blessings. Somebody in captivity ought to have the blessings. And the curse. Somebody in captivity going to have the curse. What's the indicator? What is the determining factor of whether you operate under the blessing, whether you operate under the curse? Right? Your belief that if I obey Yah and results are supposed to happen, right? You got to put a demand on it, right? We don't put a demand on Yah's word. You got to put a demand on it. Yah said, if you do this, I'm going to do this. You know, we don't pray no more. Israelites left out of Christianity, stop praying, right? When you go to your prayer closet and you know you obeying Yah's laws, his Torah, and you live in that, you say, Yah, I did said that the whole time I was out. I said, man, I'm serving you. Y'all open some ways, open some doors in my mind for me to progress, to make some investment so that I can become independent and self-sufficient. So when I'm ready to take off for a feast day, I can just shut it down, right? All right. So y'all keep that in prayer. All right. It shall come to pass when all these things are come upon you, the blessings and the curses which I have set before thee, thou shalt call them to mind among all the nations where Yah thy Elohim have driven thee. Let's go up to, let's change this version here. Let's change it to the Restore Names. And shall return unto Yah thy Elohim, and shall obey his voice according to all I command thee this day, you and your children with all your heart and with all your soul, that then Yah your Elohim will turn your captivity and have compassion upon you, and will return and gather you from all the nations where Yah Elohim have scattered thee. And if any be driven in the outermost parts of heaven, from there will Yah gather thee, and from there will he fetch thee. And Yah your Elohim will bring thee into the land which your fathers possessed. You shall possess it, and he will do thee good and multiply thee above thy fathers. How about that? And Yah thy Elohim will circumcise, they're going to circumcise again, thy heart and the heart of thy seed, to love Yah thy Elohim with all thy heart and with all thy soul, that thou may live. Now, let me say this here, right? When you operate in Yah's love, right, even though your physical father wasn't there and you operate in fleshly love of remembrance or hatred, right, if you switch that fleshly love for the righteous love and obey that, that'll heal you from all of the baggage of the flesh. You got that? I should make a clip out of that. I bet I can't say it again. I promise you I can. Let's go back and watch the video. I don't know what I just said. All right. Now, where was I at? Deuteronomy 36. Okay. This is the part we want. This is going to happen now, but let's not dwell on this part. But this is the part that's going to happen. Yah, your Elohim, will put all these curses upon your enemies, and on them that hate thee, which persecute thee. Right? Okay. So we know that's coming, right? So let's not focus on the curses that's going to be on them, because if we're focusing on the curses, we're not focusing on our circumcision that will put us in position that we can reap the benefits of the haters being punished for what they did to us. And now we ruling over them. Your heart's got to be right to rule over a people, because if your heart's not right, you're going to abuse your power like the corporate systems do, like the world systems do today. They abuse their power because they can do it. Right? Y'all needs a circumcised governor, a circumcised president, a circumcised prime minister, a circumcised corporation head. You do know that's going to happen in the kingdom. See, the difference between heaven and the kingdom of Yah on earth is heaven, you're not going to work no more. You're going to cease from labor. You're going to go to heaven. Oh, you're going to go to the paved streets. You're going to study war no more. And you're going to sing with the heavenly choir. And you're going to sing and never get tired, right? But in the kingdom on the earth, life goes on. It's just going to be a shift of those in power. All right? That's when the wealth of the wicked is laid up for the just. That's when that verse kicks in, because the prophet Isaiah said, you shall eat, right, the riches of the Gentiles. So all this they building, right? I want me a cruise liner. I might have 5 or 6. I might have 7 cruise liners. We're going to sail the 7 seas in the kingdom age, right? Relaxing, enjoying, benefiting, reaping for suffering. Because when you suffer now, all my bougie friends that's bougie now, keep serving Yah, because during the kingdom age, you'll be able to be bougistic to the highest. Oh, man, we're going to hang out, all my bougie friends. We're going to hang out. I'm bougie, I admit. Okay. But I had to serve Yah now. But when that time comes, brothers and sisters, woohoo! And you ain't bougie, you might not want to hang with me, because we're gonna eat the fat, we're gonna drink the good, we're gonna hang out. I'm a dance and party then. I'm a party like a rock star, as they say. All right, let me wrap it up here. All right, I'm gonna give you one more, I think. Let's go to let's skip down to verse 16. Let's read 15 and 16 together. See, I have set before thee this day life and good, death and evil. And in that I command thee this day to love Yah. Oh, love again. Thy Elohim, to walk in his ways and to keep his commandments and statutes and his judgments, that thou may live and multiply. And Yah thy Elohim shall bless thee in the land where thou go to possess it. Right? If we love him, right? Yeah, I promise. You like the finer things of life, so do I. But guess what? If we suffer with him now, woohoo, we're gonna reign. I might get me a jet. I might get tired of being on the sea. I might want to fly somewhere, right? All right. So that's 16. Okay, we still got some more left in 30. Let's drop down to verse 20. Let's read 19 and 20 together, and then we'll close right here. All right. I call heaven and earth to record. You know, sometimes, excuse me. Excuse me, man. Sometimes that word record is pronounced record, and sometimes it's pronounced record. So, potato, tomato, tomato, tomato. You might say, I call heaven and earth to record this day, or to record. It's the same thing, really. Just how you pronounce it. That I have set before you life and death, blessings and cursings. Therefore choose life, that both you and your seed may live. Right? That's the whole kicker. He wants us to live. that you may love Yah, your Elohim, and that you may obey his voice, and that you may cleave unto him, for he is thy. This is my favorite verse in this chapter. For he is thy life, and the length of thy days, that thou may dwell in the land which Yah swore to your fathers, to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob, to give to them. Right? So, notice it say Yah is our life. See, Yah don't want us to die. If we suffer with him, we shall reign. Right? Everybody wants to have the things that they desire, but many of us are not willing to make the sacrifice. And Coach Deanna, good to see you, my sister. She said it. She nailed it. She said, how hard is it to love Yah? Really? Because if you operate in human love, it is hard. But if you operate in the Yah-like love, it's simple. Right? You got the 5 physical senses and the 5 spiritual senses, right? Somebody said, brother, what's the 5 spiritual senses? I don't know. It just came out just in that instance. But we'll look into it. But if you got 5 physical senses, you must have 5 because you got 2 hands, right? All right. Somebody help me out. If you know what the 5 spiritual senses is, break it down. I know love is one of them. Okay. Now let's go try to wrap this up here. So Eliah said a lot. Now Eliah, I don't know if you want me to talk about this right in the open forum, if you want a private conversation, because you said some stuff. I don't know if it's personal or not. So you posted it publicly, so I guess vengeance is Yah's, not ours. Right, okay. Okay, Nazarite Val says 616 said that he could see that they erred in Ezra 10 and 1. It was not pleasing to put them away. Right. Elias Stone said, one thing, my brother, if a woman specifically wants to undermine Yah and teach your kids to worship idols, you shouldn't suffer that woman, Jezebel. I'm not in disagreement with what you're saying there. But also, I am an advocate of choice, right? If the wife teach them wickedness, and you teach them righteousness, number one, we can't make the children serve Yah. We make the children serve Yah by being an example. So when the children see Yah through us, right, and not religion, because see, there's a difference between the children seeing Yah and seeing religion. Because when the children see Yah operating through us, they're going to see results, right? Like the Gentiles look at me in amazement, trying to figure out, how are you still functioning? You've been out of work for 5 months without pay? And my wife was constantly spending money doing construction. I don't know how I made it, to tell you the truth. Okay. So that's my thought with that. Um, and there's other piece to that. There's other piece to that too. Okay, there's a lot of pieces. That's why I said council's essential, because a lot of Israelites married outside of the covenant. They didn't know they were Israelites and they weren't keeping the covenant. And now they got married. I mean, they returned to the covenant. And now it's bumping heads in the household. What I would say with that is, if you in the household with a person who's still in Christianity and you trying to keep the covenant, the house is consecrated or sanctified by the husband, the believing husband. So you can go and you have to be strategic, right? All right. For example, your wife, she loves eating swine and all of that, and she got that scrapple and that turkey. Scrapple and that pork bacon. And she's frying it in the frying pans. Strategy with that would be to replace the pork bacon with beef bacon or turkey bacon, turkey sausages. They even have turkey scrapple. So you have to be the savior of the house. I know one thing that I would do, if I saw pork in my refrigerator, it's going in the trash can. I'll replace it with I don't keep pork in my refrigerator. If you want to eat it, that's fine for you to eat it, but I don't keep it in my refrigerator. So I throw it out and I replace it with a turkey kibasi. So you have to, in every situation when it comes to families, because we all have somebody that's in there that's not either they're not a full believer, and we don't want to have a war in the house. There's nothing worse than you coming home and you got a war going on. As long as you sit down and have a conversation, say, look, I know we don't see eye to eye, but please don't. I'm obeying y'all's law, statutes, commandments. When the Shabbat comes, I'd rather you not bother me because this is what I do on the Shabbat, right? It might take a little practice in that for them to respect that, but you respect that, right? It's tough. It's not easy. You married outside of the covenant, and now Christmas comes around. She want to put that tree up with the balls hanging from the tree. And you like, get that wicked pagan symbol out of my house. You ready to light this sucker up, put it up in flames. Right? So you have to use wisdom, right? In that, right? And don't give her an ultimatum. Tell her, honey, as the head of the house, tree is an idol, and I prefer if you don't put that up in our house. At some point in time, if you handle a person right, they're going to either change or leave. You don't have to tell them, give them an ultimatum. Right? But if you serving Yah and that person is a straight heathen and don't want to serve Yah, they're going to eventually disconnect from you. Right? So each situation is different. You have to that's why counsel is so good, because there are other people that's been in your situations. And so we don't want to make our home a war zone. Right? All right. Mark 10:29. Some people will leave these things but receive 100-fold of those that love. Right. So it's kind of complicated too, because if you have children, I'm an advocate of parenthood. I have no biological children that I know of. I always say that because there's a possibility it could be somebody out there that I don't know about. Not that I was hiding from anybody, but the thing is that I'm an advocate of parenthood. So if I have a son or daughter, I'm gonna do what I can to keep my end of fatherhood until that child is old enough to make their own decision. Because in the long run, you could actually win that daughter or son. You know, they might grow up in that environment, and then they come back years later and say, you know, Dad, Mom was a straight heathen, and I watch how you handle her, and you maintain your walk with Yah, and I respect that, and that's how I want to be. And you'd be surprised. You'll win people by just remaining faithful to Yah. And you might even win that spouse by remaining faithful. They see don't become a drill sergeant and in your own household. And I'm speaking from experience. Don't be a drill sergeant and create a war zone in your own house. Let Yah do it. You serve Yah. If you have your prayer time, you pray. Let your spouse know, honey, I love you. I'm going to go over here and see Yah for an hour or whatever your time is. I'm going to go and read the word of Yah, right? Okay, you at home, you want to sit around and listen to Hebrew Israelites on YouTube, and your spouse ain't with it. Get you some headphones. Put some Bluetooth in your ear. That's how you keep peace. You know, you can sit there on the same couch while she watching wherever she watching, and you sitting there, and you got one ear got Bluetooth in one ear and the other ear's open. She say something to you. I hear you, honey. Okay, we can talk about that. That sounds like a good idea. Keep peace in the house, and guess what? You could win, but it's easy to give up and just walk away and leave everything. It's so easy to just walk away. That's the flesh love. My tolerance is not there. Right? But when we operate in the love of Yah and have patience and long suffering, you just might win them. And sometimes a picture is more than a word. You serving Yah and you doing Yah's business, you don't have to say that. You sit there, they can automatically see what you're doing. Right? But don't let emotional love cause us to get out of control, and then we start saying things and now we killing our influence. Grab a hold of that emotion. Put it in check. Right? Sometimes you got to walk away. Sometimes you just got to go into your quiet space. Let Yah do it. They got a song that said, let Yah do it, right? All right, so much for that one there. But that right there is a big issue among Israelites in these captive lands. One came to the truth, one is not in the truth. Man, there's a war in the house. Pots and plates being thrown. You cooking that swine in my pot. So look, if my wife was a heathen and she was cooking swine and all that stuff, you know what I would do? If we couldn't come to an agreement, and I'm gonna put my pork in the refrigerator. I don't care what you say, right? You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna get my own refrigerator, and this is the consecrated. This is the set apart refrigerator, right? All your stuff can go in that refrigerator. I'm not gonna touch it. And this is, if you want some sanctified food, this is the refrigerator for that, right? All right, I'm gonna get some sanctified pots. You gonna eat the swine flesh? You gonna bake you some pork chops, right? I'm gonna have my little personal roaster. It's called a sanctified roaster, right? I'm gonna have me a sanctified freezer. All sanctified food is in this freezer, right? That's how you do it. You have to have a strategy and let things iron itself out, right? Because if you start tearing down walls and all of that, And I don't know your personal household, because some people might need you to snatch stuff up and throw stuff out. We're not going to have that in here. Some people can handle that. Some people can't. So your situation might be different. So you have to pray, seek Yah, ask Yah, how can we dwell together, right? And we don't agree. We got married in heathendom, right? And now I'm in the covenant and they're not. How can this thing work, right? And Yah will give instructions and guidance on how to do this. But use wisdom in all that you do. Don't leave your family, and don't kick your children out and all of that. You know, it's so easy to quit. Quitting is easy. Putting somebody away is so easy. But you still got to deal with the baggage. So you put them away. But down on the inside, and you find somebody else that you're interested in, they're like, you got 3 children? What happened with the wife? And then you talking bad about her all the time. Ooh, I don't know. We can talk. But it would be easy conversation to say, you know, I lived the life before my wife. I serve Yah, and I try to respect her beliefs, even though we disagreed. But got to the point where it became too much, and she just couldn't take it. So she just grabbed the kids and she left. All because I decided to serve Yah. Right? So that's it there. All right. Hopefully I shared some. Okay, let's see what we have here. Digital Diablo said, love, hate, fear, maybe what would the other two be? Okay, love, hate, fear. Okay, what those wouldn't be. Let me think about that. I was getting ready to say something. Let me think about that. Now you got me thinking. Go through scripture, find out what those 5 spiritual senses are. I do that when I go offline. Okay. Adiah said, be not unequally yoked together with unbelievers, for what fellowship have righteous with unrighteous, and what communion have light with darkness, right? So that's true, but if you in this walk and you choose somebody that's not keeping the covenant, and then you connect with them knowing that, that's when that verse there is relevant. But if you actually married somebody and you've been married for 20 years, and you saw a video on YouTube where you were sleeping and woke up and the Spirit said, you're an Israelite, return to the covenant. And you woke up and you're like, who said that? Because that's what happens to a lot of Israelites. They was in their bed sleeping or somewhere and they heard a voice say, you're an Israelite. What? Who's here? I thought I was here by myself, right? So that's different, right? So if you've been married to somebody for 20 years and you woke up and the Most High said you're an Israelite, you got 20 years of marriage. That's going to require some good counsel. Okay. Captain said, fruit of the Spirit, love, joy, peace, long-suffering, gentleness, meekness, humbleness, and self-control. Okay, let me see. Love, joy, peace, long-suffering, gentleness. Okay, so one of those 5. Okay, I get you. Okay, but there's more than 5 there, so some of them may be crossing over. So, right. So there you go. Okay, that's good though. Many of us who have awakened can't survive being unevenly yoked. I wouldn't so much say you can't survive. If you operate on this side, the love of Yah, well, actually I got it wrong. The love should be on the right side. The left is the flesh side. Okay, side. Pardon me for doing it wrong. But I guess if I freed my hand, I could use the proper hands. Yah gives us a chance, right? Even in our disobedient state. Look, if you look at us as an example, how long did it take us to return to the covenant? I mean, I was a praise and worship leader in the church. And I was about maybe 25 when I came to the covenant. My dad died, I think I was 26. My dad died when I was 26. That's when I got my revelation, when I was 26. And I'm now almost 60. So that's how long I've been in this walk. Let's see. So yeah, it's a lot to consider. A cult diet. It's a lot to consider. I'm not one to advocate walking away from your 20-year marriage because that person just, especially if it's more difficult if it's the female in the truth than it is the male, because males can be so dominant. I'm the man. It's hard to be in the house like that. So sisters, I take my hat off to y'all that's married to heathen husbands or non-covenant husbands, and they got that male macho. Woo-hoo. We just need to have a prayer session for you sisters that's dealing with that on a daily basis, because that's rough, right? So you got a macho man, and he's macho wrong, and he gonna tell you, we're not gonna do no yard in this house. That's tough. Woo. It's a little more pliable if the man is in truth and the woman is not, because men have a way where we can kind of, if we're not big-headed, right? We all make that mistake of being big-headed, right? A Coach Visa said, I really need this lesson. Oh, praise Yah. Hallelujah. He said, thanks for the wisdom, Maurice. Since Christianity has mistaught sanctified, so I will call my fridge set apart. It has tramped kosher with the love of kosher, pigs, swines, flesh. Hey, that was just an idea that I just came with just then. I was like, that's really a good idea. If you got a man cave, hey, when you take a stand for Yah, sometimes that'll win people. Sister see, oh, you got a man cave. I got my own refrigerator in the man cave. I got my own little electronic range and oven in there. So I'm not going. I got my own pots, right? I'm gonna keep my pots in my little bin. When I'm ready to fry my sanctified food, I bring out my pot. Right? Wife want to cook all that swine and unsanctified food. Your pot's over there, honey. My pot, this is sanctified pots here. I love you, but I'm not going to be participating with the swine. I love you all day long, honey, but I'm not going to participate in the swine. You want to cook for me? Don't cook my sanctified food on the sanctified grill. It's kind of funny, but yeah, it's a thought. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up and close it down. Anybody else have any other questions, comments, or concerns? I'm here for you, brothers and sisters. Right? Somebody asked me, was I a pastor? I said I pastor on the internet. So I guess I am a pastor in a roundabout way. I don't have a local congregation, but I pastor people on the internet. So I guess technically I would be considered a pastor, not in the mainstream form of pastorship, right? So I'm here for you. If anybody have any other concerns you want to talk about it off the screen, my number, I'm giving you my number. So get ready. If you're near your phone or computer or you're near a pen, take my number down. He said, go wipe, gargle that pig juice off her lips. Hey, that too. Tell her, baby, you ate the swine. You unclean until even. You done ate that pork chop, whatever. You want me to kiss you? I'm gonna have to wait until till even. I don't know. I'm just talking. We have to see how that works out, but it's a lot to consider though. Okay, so y'all ready? You got a pen? You ready? Okay. 443 480 3166. Once again, 443 480 3166. And all right, you got S23. We got the same phone. We got the same phone. I got the S23. I got a different kind of case this time. I used to get the what they call Defender, outer box Defender, but they're making them cheaper now. Even the so-called rubber be peeling the stuff after so long. But this is a hard case here for it. This ain't gonna peel. And then I have a canvas cover that I put on top of that, where it's like a Ziploc, not a Ziploc, Velcro, and I slide this in there face down, right? So that it's on. I'm giving a tutorial. I'm such a tutorial person. And I slide it inside of the. Let's see. Do I have my? Oh, I don't have it here. Okay. I slide it inside there, and that way it covers the screen. Because nothing worse. These screens cost about $300 a repair, unless you got insurance, and they'll give you a discount. Okay. But enough of the technical stuff. Okay. So, right, you got the Ultra 2, Kima. All right, Kima, big dog. Got the you bougie too, Kima. Kima, you bougie, brother. I didn't know you was bougie like that. You got the S23 Ultra. You have officially joined the bougie club. Now, if you got a iPhone, you boosqualicious. You had the what? Oh, upgrade. You had upgraded. Oh, okay. All y'all iPhone people, y'all booshalicious. All right, let me get back. Okay. So, phone number once again, 443-480-3166, 480-3166. If you need me, you need to call. If you have an emergency, no one to talk to, and something going wrong with your family, you need somebody to come there to show some support, that's my number. And if you want to make a contribution to if you benefited from our ministry and from the lessons and teachings, and you want to make a contribution, you can do that by, I should some kind of way, let's see if I can do this like this real quick. I need to I need to add let's see if I can do it this way. Hold on a second. Let's see if I can do it this way. Hold on 1 second. I can tell it to you, but sometimes a picture's worth 1,000 words. Okay. Let's do it like this.
Okay. Can you see that? So that's Cash App. And that's Zelle. Let me see if I can. I made it too big. I'll adjust it later on. But okay, so you have Zelle. That's our Zelle. My phone number, and Cash App is Kazak Kabad, $ Kazak Kabad. That's Cash App. So Cash App and Zelle. Okay. So anybody, and you want to make a contribution, there's my information there. No pressure. Whatever y'all puts on your heart, you receive that in love, right? It's not a mandatory dues, right? But it's appreciated. Everything that you send is appreciated, right? So let's close out. If nobody else have anything else, we'll close out. Okay, your Cash App was hacked. Yeah, I haven't had that problem. I don't use Cash App that much, but I haven't had that problem. Okay. So let's close up. Pray everybody's clear. All right. Father, thank you, praise you for those that came in to join us for this lesson today. We pray that all those that join in, we pray that those keepers of the covenant of Yah across the globe, that the peace of Yah that passes all comprehension shall keep the hearts and minds of Yahshua the Messiah. We pray for everyone that's here present, those that will come later on, and those that will not come in contact with this live stream. We pray that those that are keeping the covenant of Yah, that you just continue to be with them, give them fresh, renew, and revival on this day. We give you praise, we give you honor, in Yahshua Mashiach. We say hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. All right, Torah Yah. Brothers and sisters, we love y'all with the love of Yah. Remember to subscribe if you haven't subscribed to this channel, to like and share, and also tell somebody to meet us on the Shabbat. We'll be still streaming live, unless we have a prior commitment, and then we can't stream live. So, but generally, we'll be here at 9 a.m. Eastern Time each Shabbat, streaming live. So love y'all with the love of Yah, and we pray the blessings of Yah to be upon you and yours until we meet again next Shabbat. Shalom, shalom, shalom.